Warning, this video will contain major spoilers for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I do thank you for clicking on the video and showing my channel support, but until you actually see the movie, I highly recommend you clicking off the video right now. Avengers! Assemble. How does one even start a review on a movie so astronomically large as Black Panther Wakanda Forever? I'm going to do my best, so bear with me as I try to collect my thoughts and lay down my true feelings on easily one of the most emotional movies that I have seen in the past 20 years. If you follow my channel for any amount of time, you know deep down that this movie is more than just a movie for me. This was an experience. This was personal. I felt like this movie and its cast of characters is part of my own family. As you know, I grew up in a time where there was not a lot of black superheroes put to screen, and I always yearned for a hero such as T'Challa that I could look up to, that I could look on screen and just think to myself, wow, he looks like me. I could be something like that as a 5-year-old boy when I grow up. There just wasn't a whole lot of options. When they presented the original Black Panther to screen, it was just such an emotional yearning that was fulfilled for me that I could still have a hard time expressing. And when Chadwick Boseman passed away, it almost felt like a member of my own family passed. I took it hard. I took it to heart. And I was so nervous on how the sequel to the Black Panther would be translated to screen, if Shuri would be able to fit into the title role and carry the franchise. And I cannot believe what they've been able to present on screen here. I hate going to funerals. Always have, I always will. I don't know anybody that likes going to funerals, but I've always had such a personal distaste for them. Even when close friends have passed on, like I'll usually try to go to the wake, but I'll try to usually skip the funeral just because I just can't do it. It's always been tough for me to be around that much sadness. Let me be the first to admit that I wept at King T'Challa's funeral. Like I knew this man personally. I lost my emotions completely to the point to where my wife heard me sobbing in the movie theater, and she had to reach and grab a couple of Kleenexes to hand to me just so I could collect my thoughts and get myself together. I absolutely loved this character. There's no way around it. The tribute to King T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman, was absolutely breathtaking. It was beautiful. And like I said, I lost my emotions completely. And I can't be more grateful for Ryan Coogler for directing and presenting this in such a beautiful way that will absolutely exist in my memory banks forever. Loretta Wright, my God, where to even begin? The emotional toll that it must have taken for her to perform this role had to have taken astronomical amounts of poise and clarity. And my hat is absolutely off to her. A round of applause is not enough, in my opinion. I could literally feel that girl's pain. Every time she felt an ounce of pain, I feel like I was right there with her, feeling her emotions one in the same. And that, you can't teach that. You absolutely cannot teach that. That is just God-given acting ability. And she is top tier, world class. There's no denying it. I don't know what well of emotions she pulled from to pull off that sense of extreme sadness, rage, and just grief. Outstanding. She absolutely proved herself extremely worthy of the mantle of Black Panther, and I couldn't have been more proud of her performance. I'm so grateful that I exist in this sense of society where I can teach my daughter that she can have a superhero role model with grace and poise and confidence and strength as someone as Princess Shuri, the Black Panther. Would you believe me if I told you that Angela Bassett has never won an Academy Award before, and she's ever only been nominated once for her 1993 portrayal of Tina Turner and What's Love Got to Do with It? I believe that should change today. Angela Bassett's role as Queen Rwanda in Black Panther Wakanda Forever was absolutely legendary. This is a character that had to bury her husband, her son, and at one point throughout the movie, she thought that she would have had to bury her daughter as well. Emotional turmoil is an understatement in this movie. Absolutely breathtaking. Every line of dialogue performed by Angela Bassett for Queen Rwanda was just had me on the edge of my seat, had my wife on the edge of her seat, had everybody in my theater just in awe. You don't get these type of characters every day, people. I'm telling you. She's one of those characters that when she's on screen, I don't care what she's saying, she could be talking about peanut butter and jelly. You're going to listen. Does that make sense? It's just she just commands so much screen presence. It's ridiculous. So let's go ahead and tackle the story. Vibranium. Whenever it comes to Black Panther and Wakanda, 9 times out of the 10, the story is going to revolve around vibranium, and that is definitely the case with Wakanda forever. A unknown scientist has created a vibranium locator that puts a target on her back from Wakanda and from the Atlantean city, which of course has been revealed to have been built on the backbone of vibranium as well. So it becomes the main point of Wakanda to bring back the scientist to keep her from being killed by the Atlanteans, which of course, then we get our introduction to Riri Williams, the Iron Heart. Very cool character. Had a millennial personality to her, but I found her cool. She was kind of have that annoying teenager vibe to me at times, but overall, I found her charming more than anything else. Absolutely, the first thing that should be established about this character is that this is not Tony Stark. If you're going in thinking this is going to be a redo of Tony Stark, you're going to be disappointed. That's all it is to it. This is her own original character. She has her own personality, and she developed her technology probably off the backbone of some of Stark's suits, but overall it's her own original design, which I am absolutely fine with that. I did not want an Iron Man Jr. I wanted an original character, and I feel like they did a fabulous job of separating the two. Now, as I always state, a superhero movie is defined on how good it is depending on the status and state of the villain or the anti-hero. And Namor absolutely does not disappoint. Let's get the first thing out of the way. Namor is a mutant. Mutants have been unveiled in the MCU. The first was Miss Marvel. Now, finally, we have our second with Namor. He is a submarinian from the city of Atlantis. He has wings on his ankles. They are not boots. They literally grow out of his wings. He has superhuman strength, and he can fly. And his main purpose in life as king of Atlantis is to keep the city a secret from the surface world, because of course every time that they have interacted with the surface world, it ends up with a lot of death, chaos, and destruction. Shocker. First de facto climax of the movie, while they're trying to get Riri Williams back to Wakanda, they end up getting kidnapped by the Submarinians, and Namor tries to argue his point of view to Shuri to get the Wakandans to join in their cause to destroy the surface world. Of course, this is insane. You know, we can all coexist in the same society. We don't have to destroy one culture or another to protect another. So, of course, this is Shuri's viewpoint, but Namor, his main purpose is just to protect his people and no one else. So that's not going to work. And when it comes to the subordinates at Yuma and Namora, I found Namora the more interesting of the two, which is funny because at Yuma was the one that got the majority of the promotional imagery and the action figure, where I found Namoro's character way more interesting. And for me, I feel like she's the obvious second in command and not Atuma. We have Nikita coming into the fray. King Rwanda recruits her to rescue Princess Shuri when she gets kidnapped. Still blows my mind that they couldn't figure out a way to work around her schedule so that she could be included in Infinity War and Endgame. That still just rubs me the wrong way. But overall, is very happy to see her back on screen in the role of Nikita. Of course, we have some very serious questions with her as soon as she enters the fray, because she was extremely absent from T'Challa's funeral. But fortunately, that obviously gets explained by the end of the movie. The new outfit that she got was pretty cool. They made an action figure of this. I was kind of on the question of whether or not I wanted to get get it or not. I kind of still am. I mean, it's cool. I think I kind of like her other outfit better with the Dora Milaje, but she was definitely useful when it came to the war and solving the Wakandan issue going on with Namor and the Atlanteans. So I was very happy with her character arc. Okoye, another character that had one of the most gut-wrenching scenes in the entire movie. Now, with the mission to rescue Riri Williams from the Submarinians, they end up losing her and Shuri, and she has to report back to Wakanda in a complete and utter failure of the mission. And as she is trying to explain herself to the Queen Miranda ends up stripping her of her general status of the Dora Milaje. Just completely heartbreaking. The single tear that falls from her face is just still relevates with me even 24 hours later after seeing the movie. Just devastating. Now, of course, that all works itself out as Nikita is able to infiltrate Atlantis and free Riri and Shuri, but not at the expense of a Submarinier's life, which that causes Namor to decide to attack Wakanda head on. Going into this movie, I knew a main character was going to have to die to give Shuri the motivation to become the Black Panther. I didn't think that they were going to kill off Queen Miranda. Oh, spoiler, my God. And of course, she died in the most heroic of ways, saving the life of Riri Williams. It's just the blow to the character development of Shuri. She was the last immediate family member she had left. So devastating. This movie was so sad, man. It really was. Even Baku, as funny as he is, took her aside after the services. And it was just, are you okay? You know, you really don't need to be making any rash decisions right now. You know, you've been through way too much trauma and this life has taken way too much away from you to justify me still calling you a child. It's not fair. And he's right. It's insane what all she has been through in the last 5-6 years. Also, a cool little side note as well. I love that before T'Challa passed, he took him aside and made him promise that he would always have her back. That's really cool. Now, with every superhero movie trope, we have a music montage per se, where Shuri recreates the heart-shaped herb to obtain the Black Panther powers. Holy crap, she's easily one of the smartest minds in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in the Marvel Universe in general. Then she ascends to the ancestral plane to obtain the powers, but instead of meeting any of her family, she meets, oh my God, drum roll please, Killmonger. Holy shit. I admit I was convinced Michael B. Jordan wasn't going to be anywhere near this movie because he was filming Creed 3, but they shut me up. I love that at first Shuri tried to be like, I'm nothing like you. Why did they send me to you? And then Killmonger was like, nah, they just killed your moms. What you gonna do about it? Hey, I know what I would do. I'm going to burn the world down. That's what I would do. It's such brilliant storytelling, man. She came out of that plane darn near a different person. Now, then we get our first look at the Black Panther suit. I've already thoroughly looked at this suit in my action figure review, so if you haven't seen that video, please go check that out. It looks a lot like Killmonger's suit. It really does. It's a lot of gold and a lot of silver. It looks great. I really loved it, and so it is too. She appears before the Wakandan people and sets into motion her plan to take down the Atlanteans. So, they attack Wakanda first. They're going to draw them out and they're going to take them down before the Atlanteans can take them down. Just a whole Killmonger mindset. It was so good. Even to the point where Nikita asked her numerous times, like, hey, you want to talk about who you saw, what happened in the ancestral plane? And she was like, nah. Now in this final battle, Riri Williams gets her updated Ironheart suit completed as well. Definitely has some reminiscence of the original Iron Man suit with the red and the gold. Comes out good, man. Now it's kind of old school when you're comparing her first suit to, Tony's like nanotech suit. Of course, it's not going to be anywhere near that level, but it was still cool to hear the Iron Man sounds of shooting the beams and just, it was cool. It brought me back. It was just a cool scene seeing her in action. And then, of course, the reminiscent of seeing her within the suit with the screen surrounding her face, which is cool, man. So they clearly took the designs of the original Iron Man suit and put it into the Ironheart suit, and it came out good. I had no complaints with it at all whatsoever. Okoye, of course, gets an upgrade as well. The Midnight Angel suit upgrades her to superhuman level abilities with the power of flight. Kind of her own iron suit in her own right. I mean, it has all types of capabilities. It suits her perfectly, and it is really a welcomed addition. Kind of like a phoenix, like the old version of her died, so she had to be reborn into this new version, this new suit. Very awesome character development for that as well. Then we have M'Baku trying to take on Namor, and he gets punched in the gut, and he gets sent flying through the air. You know, before we went to go see this movie, I had in my heart of hearts thinking that he was the one that was going to meet his demise, not Queen Miranda. I guess I was wrong. They have more plans for him in the future of the MCU as well, so that is cool. He ended up surviving, but definitely seeing him fight a super powered being was pretty hilarious. The final battle between Namor and Shuri was as epic as one could possibly get. At one point, I really thought Shuri was going to try to take down Namor for good, but somehow he ended up surviving, because as a nerd, I know that there's way more story out of Namor that you can get into the MCU, and I know there was no way they were going to kill him off in the first movie that he appeared in, even though I kind of had the same feeling about Killmonger, but they really did kill him off. That's kind of blows my mind still, but it was cool to see how that story ended up, how they came together and ended the fighting, ended the war between the two nations, and kind of sort of came together for the betterment of society. Now, again, Ross appears in this movie as well, adding support to Wakanda in whichever way he can. It's also revealed that he is the ex-husband of Valentine, the leader of the Thunderbolts. It's clear that she has a plan to infiltrate Wakanda and steal vibranium. That is going to be revealed most likely in Black Panther 3. I'd be shocked if it's not. So, time to tackle the elephant in the room. Why was Nakia not present for T'Challa's funeral? So at the end of the movie, at the climax of all the fighting, Shuri goes to visit Nakia in Haiti. And at first we think that she's there just to celebrate her mourning of T'Challa, because at first she couldn't find it within herself to properly mourn him. But the true conclusion of the movie quickly presents itself in this scene when Nakia brings out this little boy. He's about 5-6 years old, and he has a striking resemblance to T'Challa. And Nakia reveals that this is her and T'Challa's 5-year-old son. Holy shit. I had so many questions. When was this child conceived? Because we know that T'Challa and Shuri were blipped in the 5-year time skip. They weren't even present. So he had to have been conceived right before the events of Infinity War. And somehow they were able to hide his presence from all of Wakanda. They put a plan in motion just in case, and they succeeded in keeping the heir to the throne of Wakanda hidden for 6-7 years now. What a satisfying conclusion to Phase 4 of the MCU. With a few disappointing movies and some disappointing shows, this was what I needed to reignite my fire in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I put all the eggs in this basket. There was so much writing on this movie, and I feel like they succeeded in every facet of the way possible to bring me personally back into just being passionate about every single movie that comes out in this universe. And of course, they ended with the climax of the movie in one last tribute to Shuri and T'Challa's relationship, which brought me back to the point of tears again, just reminding me of the love that I had for this character and for this movie franchise, and just reminds me of why I am so in love with entertainment and why I do what I do on this channel. This is the passionate fire that ignites me to make videos like this. And if you took this entire journey with me, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. heart. You guys need to know that a lot of thought and effort goes into these movie reviews. And by watching these videos from start to finish, I need you guys to know that you guys allow me to make an income doing what I have always loved to do, exploring my childhood. And I couldn't be more grateful for that. It is literally a dream come true. You guys just don't know. I love you for it. Truly, I do, especially in situational videos like this. Like a movie like Wakanda Forever is so special to me. Like, especially when I just lose my emotions completely. It's more than just a movie to me. It's life. It's everything. We are officially at the 20-minute mark, and I am not going to take another second of you guys' time. You can follow me at youtube.com/marjack79. I am also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button that pushes the video out into the algorithm, and that's just everything to me. Listen, thank you guys, truly, from the bottom of my heart. As always, movie reviews, blockbusters, we cover them all here. The MCU, it's my passion. Truly it is. I will see you guys on the next one. Wakanda Forever. I'll see you guys later. Bye.